The Crypto Markets Update is presented by Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager.
Checking in on Bitcoin again, the CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index XBX is currently at $47,123. That's down less than 1% over the past 24 hours. And the CoinDesk Ether Price Index ETX is currently at $3,138, up about a little over 1% over the past 24 hours. And the CoinDesk DeFi Index, DFX, is currently at around $649. That's up over 2% over the past 24 hours. So our next guest, Andrei Poliakov, CEO of Coinberry, a Canadian exchange, joins us now to discuss the crypto markets. Welcome, Andrei.
Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. So the markets over the past few days have been relatively quiet, after everybody got really excited about Bitcoin crossing $50,000. Do you think Bitcoin's going to return to 50K anytime soon?
I think the general trend that we're seeing is quite bullish in nature. We believe at Coinberry that with further regulatory developments in Canada specifically and abroad, we will see higher interest from institutional and retail investors in the space and more demand for Bitcoin driving the price up.
So, Andrei, specific to your platform, to Coinberry, what are you seeing in terms of flows? Who's buying and who's selling? Is it more retail? Is it more institutional? What are they doing? What kind of positioning are they?
So we are a primarily retail-focused platform. All of our user base is based in Canada and is retail in nature. So we see a lot of accumulation going on a consistent basis. It fluctuates with the price of Bitcoin specifically, but we do primarily see a lot more buy pressure on a day-to-day basis than sell pressure.
So could you give us a little bit of insight about Canada versus the U.S. market? Are there any particular coins or trends that you see in Canada that diverge from what we're seeing in the U.S.?
I think it's important to know that the Canadian market is of course much smaller than the U.S. market. So even though we tend to sometimes follow in the shadows of the Asian markets or the U.S. markets, we do see some differences, and something that I think is worth mentioning is the number of ETFs that we have in Canada that are quite popular in nature. I think it's important to also kind of note that the reason that we had a lot of interest in ETFs in Canada is because of a lack of regulated platforms for institutional investors to actually acquire crypto assets on cryptocurrencies. So now with Coinberry becoming the first sort of pure play crypto platform in Canada to offer a regulated platform for investors to actually acquire their assets, it'll be interesting to see how that impacts the ETF market in Canada.
So, Andrei, of course, you just got approval to be the first regulated exchange. It is fully regulated by Ontario. And Canada tends to be more regulated by province than by the federal authorities, like in the United States, where we have the SEC. Why are we seeing so much action, if you will, out of Ontario specifically? Is it because that's Toronto and the exchanges are the major exchanges are in Toronto, or are there any other provinces that are enacting or trying to attract any crypto-friendly legislation or approvals or regulation similar to what we have in the United States with states like Wyoming?
So we received registration from the Ontario Securities Commission, but the registration we received covers our business across all of Canada, across all of the provinces and all of the territories. So it was a long and onerous process that we went through that lasted over 3 years. But ultimately, all of the provinces and territories signed up to the decision. So it's not an Ontario-only decision. This registration is cross country for us, and I think we will see further platforms being registered that are based in other provinces. I think Coinberry was sort of the first and leading in the space in the space of regulatory adhesion and focusing on provide a safe, secure, and convenient platform that is regulated. But I am sure we will have competitors follow suit.
Do you think Ontario specifically, though, has a more, let's say, ease of process to get regulated than compared to other provinces, or do they just have the infrastructure to do it?
I don't think it's so much ease of process as the fact that Toronto is the financial hub of Canada, and so we have a lot of great minds and teams working out of Toronto. And Coinberry is based in Toronto, but we have other projects as well. Ethereum is one that was launched and developed in Ontario as well. So I think it just goes to show that there's a lot of talent in Ontario, but not necessarily that it only exists in Ontario. And we have a lot of great projects and minds across the country.